Why are Ukraine's M2 Bradleys and M1 Abrams fighting? Pointless skirmishes around a tiny Russian border village. A dramatic assault by Ukraine's M1 tanks and M2 fighting vehicles belies the low stakes in Russia's Kursk Oblast on or just before October 26. A trio of the Ukrainian Army's best American-made vehicles, a pair of M2 Bradley fighting vehicles, and an M1 Abrams tank rolled through a breach in Russian fortifications just south of the tiny village of Novy Put in western Russia's Kursk Oblast. As a Ukrainian drone observed from overhead, the Bradleys led the way, popping smoke for cover and blasting away with their 25mm autocannons and Tau anti-tank missiles. The Abrams followed behind, lending weight to the rapid assault. Brushing off Russian fire, the three vehicles barreled toward a Russian-held tree line just north of the border. The fall-off in shooting from the Russian positions, evident in the drone's feed, as well as in videos shot by the Ukrainian vehicle crews, is telling. The Ukrainians were the victors in the skirmish. While the Ukrainian Army's elite 47th Mechanized Brigade, the sole user of Ukraine's M2s and M1s, wins meaningless fights outside a Russian border village, a battered Ukrainian air assault brigade, the 79th, is barely holding on to its defensive line in the town of Ilinka, 6 miles south of Kursk. If Ilinka falls, it's likely Kursk will fall too. If Kursk falls, the Russians could pinch half a dozen Ukrainian brigades into a salient in southern Donetsk Oblast. Forcing a salient, or a bag, to borrow Ukrainian journalist Stanislav Asayev's term, is a classic battlefield tactic, and one the Russian army in Ukraine has used to devastating effect in recent months. The Russians continue to successfully use the bag tactics, bypassing our positions on three sides and leaving a narrow throat for retreat, Asayev explained. As a result, even in combat-ready units, encirclement panic often begins, which leads to the withdrawal of troops. If the Ukrainians lose southern Donetsk, they might have no choice but to make a desperate last stand in Pokrovsk, a fortress city 17 miles north of Kursk. And if they lose Pokrovsk, their whole defensive line in eastern Ukraine could unravel. The stakes in the east are enormous. The stakes in Kursk Oblast are ambiguous at best. A strong Ukrainian force with many of Kyiv's best foreign-made vehicles invaded Kursk in early August and quickly captured hundreds of square miles. The recent 47th Mechanized Brigade raid is a corollary to this main Ukrainian effort. The invasion has been an impressive tactical achievement for the overstretched Ukrainian forces, but the wider strategic implications are unclear. If Ukraine was trying to draw significant Russian forces into Kursk in order to deplete the Russian forces in eastern Ukraine, it failed. Russia has been able to counterattack in Kursk without slowing its offensive in Donetsk. If Ukraine aims to hold part of Kursk in order to trade it for parts of Russian-occupied Ukraine during any future peace negotiations, it's apparently betting it won't lose more Ukrainian soil as a consequence of the invasion than it gains in the possible negotiations. That's not a safe bet. Weighing the undeniable value of Ilinka, Kursk, and Pokrovsk against the debatable value of Kursk, At least one Ukrainian trooper has questioned the wisdom of the ongoing Ukrainian operations in the latter. It's very hard to accept and understand the advantage of being here in the fields of Kursk Oblast while losing cities, wrote Kriegsforscher, a Ukrainian drone operator. By that thinking, those Bradleys and Abrams skirmishing in Kursk should be in eastern Ukraine instead, helping hold back a relentless Russian offensive.